Hey now, what's up everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka ReviewKingMB, and I am here to review Underworld, which is a 2003 film that was directed by Len Wiseman. And the plot is we meet this character, Celine, who's played by Kate Beckinsale. Celine is a vampire. She's been a vampire for a very long time, and she's a part of this coven. And this coven is basically their biggest mission is to find, locate, and kill Likings, which is a different word for werewolves. And they're to have believed that werewolves started a war with vampires years and years ago, so she's just carrying out her orders. But she soon discovers that these Likings are trying to track down a certain human, this character Michael. And she doesn't know why or what's really going on, but when she finds out what the werewolves are really after, why they're doing what they're doing, she starts to question everything with her coven. Now, what I think of Underworld is I really enjoy this movie. I do. And I don't want to turn this into a whole defending Underworld. I don't really feel the need to do that. But I'm probably going to sound like I'm doing that. Let's first talk about Kate Beckinsale as Celine. Kate Beckinsale is hot. There is a news bulletin, right? Yes, I know. But specifically as this character, as this vampire in her leather outfit and the pale skin, her cold demeanor that she does kind of put on in front of people, you get certain moments of her showing a more vulnerable side, more sensitive side, especially talking about her past, what happened to her family, how she became a vampire. But she's instantly a likable character, even when you come to a point where you can't tell who the good guys are, who the bad guys are. Is it the vampires? Is it the werewolves? She's the one constant. She's the one person you look at and go like, well, at least I know that she's good. Or she at least thinks she's doing the right thing. Some of the other characters, we have Michael Sheen, who plays Lucien. Lucien is the leader of the Likings, the werewolves. And at the beginning, or like for the first half or so of the movie, he comes off as a real badass. I mean, they present him as this evil figure, mysterious. You don't know exactly what he's after, but he's intimidating. He has a cool look to him, the leather jacket and the long hair. The one scene where he's specifically going after the Michael character, and they're in the elevator. He bites him. He's chasing them down. She runs over him in the car, and he just like flips over and lands on his feet. Come on, that's fucking awesome. Hell, even when he got shot by the bullets from her, and then he just somehow like squeezed the bullets out of his open wounds. Come on, that was insane. But the character Michael Corvin, is played by Scott Speedman, and he's the one human character of this movie. He's probably the one person that becomes the most relatable as far as being thrown into this world and into this mythology that we're finding out as we go along. He really doesn't know what the fuck's going on. He's being chased by werewolves, and then he has this vampire who's protecting him, kind of, sort of, and he doesn't know why. And then he gets turned into a werewolf. Like, he's instantly in the dark. You understand his confusion. This is the unrated director's cut. There's a few extra moments, extra scenes, specifically with Michael, to sort of have more character moments with him, understand him more as a person, so I appreciated that. Bill Nighy as Victor. Bill Nighy, he can just come into a movie, even if you're somebody who watches this and think it's silly, thinks the story's silly and whatnot. Bill Nighy comes in and he acts his ass off. He makes it seem like it's Shakespeare, or it's a whole new level of, I mean, he's a perfect elderly vampire who comes in, and he obviously is figuring out that things aren't going as they should with the coven, and he's going to get to the bottom of it. Also, some of the side characters, you have Kevin Grievous. I probably completely got that name wrong. He's one of the Likings, the big black guy. instantly you know who I'm talking about because even his voice, it's so specific. You're never going to hear a voice like this. One interesting thing about him is that he's a co-writer of this movie. Yeah, like he's one of the people who thought of these characters, the story, and even if you don't like the story, I mean that's cool. That's cool that here's a guy who, I mean, he doesn't look like he would be a fiction writer or whatever, but here he is, and he's acting in it. Why not? You have Craven, who's a vampire that's kind of just, he's here to create a love triangle with Selena, I guess. He wants to take over the coven. Okay, you have Erica, who is a part of the triangle. She's played by Sophia Myles. I shouldn't like the Erica character. I shouldn't. She's immature and she's dumb for how blind she is with Craven and not realizing that he doesn't care about her and that he's using her. But there's something about her that I'm like, okay, you know what? I feel for this girl. I mean, she's dumb, sure, but she's pretty. She deserves better. One of those type of characters. Another thing that I have to mention about this movie is that the budget, $22 million. Today, that's like a low-budget independent movie. I can't believe watching this, seeing some of the special effects, seeing some of the action. Hell, just the beginning of the movie where Celine is on the rooftop and she jumps off and that long drop until she just lands on her feet. Fucking badass. The whole scope of the movie. You have moments of CGI, specifically with the Likings and the transformation or them crawling on walls, but the CGI doesn't look bad. Not for this budget. It should look a whole lot worse. Maybe it has to do with the fact that most of this movie, like all of this movie, takes place at night. It was smart, obviously, to do that. I like the blue tint to the coloring of how this movie looks. And then you have the moments, more moments of the Likings. It's an actual like bodysuit. It's people in costumes, which can look silly, sure, but I just appreciate practical effects. I appreciate an actual body in a suit roaming around. The Likings look a little weird because they're supposed to be werewolves, but they don't really have hair on them. I don't know, it does kind of look weird. But still, I'd much rather see somebody in a suit fighting a vampire than if it was just a CGI thing that I can tell is not really there. I guess I felt the need to defend this a little bit because Rotten Tomatoes gives this a 31%. I don't like to talk about Rotten Tomatoes because it's very rare that I agree with the reviews on there. But I will say that for anybody who says that this movie, it spends too much time with mythology, with backstory, with all of this lore that you might not care about, it's like, okay, fine, I get it. But for me, I appreciated that it tried to be a little different. It didn't want to be just another generic action movie that it very well could have been. It was probably marketed that way. But they did try to build a lore to this. They did try to make this whole story with the vampires and werewolves and this long rivalry that's been going on for so long. I found it interesting. I liked a lot of the flashbacks and the backstory. It was appreciated that they tried. They tried. So guys, what more can I say about this film? I think it's cool, it's fun, a lot of action. It tried with the writing. I couldn't ask for more in a movie that's about vampires versus werewolves. Seriously, at the end of the day, what more could you have wanted? Anyways, guys, let me know in the comments below, what do you think of the first Underworld movie? Do you like it as much as I do? Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later!